Customer, I sold him a Cybertruck for $195,000. It was when they first came out. It was like the first one we got.
The first one.
Yeah, now I'm about to give him 75.
75
Yeah,
back.
$75,000 for not back to buy it back.
It's weird. People are weird, bro. So I don't know. I just say that to say, go cop the Porsche, bro. Copy, definitely copy.
That's about 40% of all U.S. adults are carrying a balance every month on their credit card, so they are not paying off those bills in full. Of that, more than 27 million Americans can only afford to make minimum payments every month.
I know you guys were supposed to get a video 2 days ago. I understand. But guys, I've been going through it. As you can tell, my voice is off, right? It's kind of hard for me to talk, but we're still going to get through it, and I hope you guys can bear with me. Some people don't understand or have no clue of how depreciation works. They have no exit strategy. They just do as they please to buy the car of their dreams. There's nothing wrong with that, but everything is not about feelings. Sometimes a lot of it has to do with math. We're going to talk about credit card debt and how it's stealing your future and keeping you broke because it is a design, right? It is a perfected design to keep you stuck. We're also going to talk about status and appearances. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. Hit the bell icon to be notified for future videos. Watch the full video. Let's get straight into it.
To call a customer, I sold him a Cybertruck for $195,000. It was when they first came out. It was like the first one we got.
The first one.
Yeah, now I'm about to give him 75.
75 back.
Yeah, $75,000 for not back to buy it back. I'm about to call Jeff Fields right now. My heart is pounding. I sold him a Cybertruck for $195,000. This is his car wash company. So if you guys are watching this, please go to his car wash so I feel better about getting his car for $75,000.
Guys, please support his business because I robbed this man in broad daylight.
Jeff, how you doing?
What's up, dude? Mid workout here. What's going on?
You're mid workout. Are you doing like bench press, like where you're lying down? Because that's a good position you should stay in.
You do.
My dad's here witnessing this conversation.
Elon Musk make more money with Tesla company and everybody got screwed with his product. $30 billion so overnight. And you lost, how much you lost?
Yeah, but we're about to get through that right now, Dad. We're about to get through that. I'm already nervous enough as it is.
Let's blame Elon Musk though, right? Let's not blame the greediness and the tactics to rob people in broad daylight. And this is really good though, because what this is showing is that this is how they feel about us when we are buying a car. Straight laughing in your face. Like it's just stupidity.
You don't need to make it worse.
Use it for our football season at our tailgate.
Yeah, good.
Kids and stuff, they loved it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I see you wrapped it, car wash and all that stuff. Yeah. So listen, 75 grand?
No way.
How much are you expecting?
Man, at least 90.
No way. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. I just sold one for 92 with 1,000 miles on it.
You make two.
You have 4,000 miles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you 80.
89.
No. I'll give you 83.
87.5.
No.
You can do it, George. I got a buyer at 90 here.
Come on, Jeff. 83.5.
85, it's yours.
All right, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. All right, boom.
Silly rabbit. I thought tricks were for kids. You spent that much money and lost it in that little time. It's crazy. You bought a car at the highest markup and lost it within 4,000 miles. That is the fastest depreciation loss that we've ever seen. 6-figure depreciation loss. Crazy. And another part is not understanding assets and liabilities. I don't care how much money you make. For you to lose 6 figures at $110,000, that is diabolical. That is an egregious amount of money that somebody can lose just by driving it for 2 months. The kids might enjoy it, but I promise you the pain of living with that decision every single day is going to haunt you. And now you have to sell it for pennies on the dollar. He double dipped. He really finessed you, fleeced you, and now is going to get that car back and is going to sell it for higher price. For the father to say that it's Elon Musk's fault when a lot of these people or dealerships have to sell these cars at MSRP, but it's their choice to add markups. And we're going to keep reacting to these type of videos until we bring awareness to this type of decision-making that has nothing to do with math, but has a lot to do with ego, a lot to do with social comparison, a lot to do with just, trying to flex and stunt on another person. Entrepreneurship builds assets. Consumerism builds payments. And this is what happens when people confuse the two.
I just copped a Porsche, and I just realized I've been being mistreated, mishandled, taken for granted, discriminated against. I did not know I was being treated so badly until I copped up. Nothing changed in my life But now I got a Porsche. Now everybody got, for some reason, everybody got some, like, it's crazy. Nothing changed. But people can only perceive you a certain way when they can see it. Like, I'm still doing the same business. I'm still hanging around the same people. I'm still doing everything that I was doing, but now I got a Porsche. Now people got some act right. It's weird. People are weird, bro. So I don't know. I just say that to say, go cop the Porsche, bro. Copy. Definitely copy.
It is true that some people will levitate towards you because of the car you drive, because these cars are status signals, right? It basically screams, I made it, I'm successful, I'm ahead of you, I have money like that. Even if none of that is true, that is the illusion that people are buying. And why people gravitate towards that is because of status and identity, right? It's because people just don't want to be successful, they want to look successful. And in this channel, we've reacted to so many people that have low credit scores that are buying these hyper luxury cars. And a luxury car becomes a shortcut to an identity that they haven't built yet. So it's easy for people to try to come at you or try to create relationships, whether it's personal or business, because we live in a give and take world, right? What can I take from you that I can use to build myself up, to give the image of status, appearance, luxury, and some sort of prestige? And this all just stems from social comparison, because you could be perfectly fine, but the moment you see somebody with a nice car, your standards completely just shift. And then now it becomes not about survival, but this mentality of ranking, right? People are competing to look the best. And that is one of the biggest sadness that is facing this country. But this country is known for this loud luxury, this loud competition of who can bark the loudest through our cars and our, materials and possessions. A lot of this has to do with our environment and our culture, right? When you look at social media, you look at music, right? Your life should be a music video. Nice car, pretty female, fake friends, everybody trying to compete for each other. Also goes back to influencers always reinforcing the same idea, right? That nice car equals success. People really chase the symbol instead of what the symbol should really represent. And that is being rich, not looking rich. People financing a life they haven't earned yet, or they haven't, actually accomplished yet. When does it end? He talked about the Porsche, but now what is it going to be next? A Rolls Royce truck? When is it going to be next? A Bentley Bentayga? When is it going to be next? A Bugatti? I'm going to say a luxury car doesn't prove you're rich. All right. It just proves that you got approved. That's all it is.
So today on Good Morning America, we had a first look at some new data that shows record high credit card debt and more Americans falling behind on their credit card payments. So this is an analysis from two groups, the Century Foundation and Protect Borrowers. And what it shows is that 111 million Americans, so that's about 40% of all US adults, are carrying a balance every month on their credit card. So they are not paying off those bills in full. Of that, more than 27 million Americans can only afford to make minimum payments every month. And what is also sobering is that a growing share of families are maxing out their credit cards, opening new accounts, or then turning to other potentially high cost options like payday loans or buy now, pay later. This report really shows how much interest can get people into a debt spiral. Credit card interest rates are around 20% on average right now. So if you are only making minimum payments, you can get dinged with very hefty interest charges. A couple of tips here towards just trying to make a dent in that debt. You generally do want to try to tackle the debt with the highest interest rate first to try to avoid some of those interest fees. Another strategy is called the snowball method, where you start with your smallest balance and then work your way up to the biggest one. This can give you kind of a bunch of small wins. It keeps you motivated to keep paying it off, to see that progress. Always call your credit card company, ask them if you can negotiate a lower interest rate. And then it's really important just to know exactly what your rate is. It can be very hard to find. It's not obvious when you go on the app or go online. Think about going to the customer service tab, chatting with the AI chatbot and asking directly, what's my interest rate? I just did that and I got a response right away. You might be surprised at just how high that number is.
$20,000 in debt. And I know I'm not the only one, but I'm done ignoring this. This is what it looks like on the chart. This is my current credit score. Every day after I'm done dashing and doing Instacart, I'm going to put something towards the smallest one. Aggressively, though. Most of us are not broke. We're just avoiding this. But I'm going to clear this.
Credit card debt is not fun. And the fact that he mentioned $20,000, and if you're an OG to this channel, that I have had $20,000 in credit card debt. And I love the fact that he says he's going to tackle it. Because most people, he's right, are not broke. They're just delaying, right, what they have to do. But it's also important to acknowledge the fact that, like, things are getting more expensive. Inflation is really high. You know, there's a bad job market, right? Groceries are just too expensive. The cost of living is getting higher and higher. Interest rates are very high. All these things are true. But I will say one thing, right? That restaurants are still full and people are still lining up for Starbucks. Like I said, consumerism only works if people consume without thinking. And people are consuming. Listen, I passed by the mall, right? The ramp where I can see the mall, right? It's completely dead on the weekdays. But on the weekends, completely full. People are going to consume. People are going to buy things they don't need because of the situation that they have. People are burnt out. So the only thing they do is to stress buy. So that's why I tell you, it is important to understand, right? That even for me, I had $20,000 in credit card debt. I paid it off within 1 year. But I had to make sacrifices. I had to cut back on certain things. And here's the sad part, right? Is that 9 to 5 was really meant for you just to survive, just for you to pay your basic necessities, right? Food, shelter over your head, for you to buy a little bit of groceries, right? And to buy clothes. Other than that, anything that exceeds that, a 9 to 5 was not meant for it because it is a means of survival. It's not a means of thriving. But most people will have to literally rob Paul to pay Peter. I did that. But you have to acknowledge it and tackle it. Most people are playing the wrong game. They don't understand how the credit card game is designed to keep you broke. They don't understand the psychological tactics, the manipulation tactics. This was me. And one of the hardest things that I had to go through, right, was learning all this. And I literally learned the avalanche method, right? The snowball method, like all these things I had to learn. I had to learn how sick they really are, these credit card companies and these banks, and how they literally run this business as a casino, how they hire think tanks, right? How they hire all these psychologists to really rob you. And I was stuck with this analysis paralysis. I had all this information, but now I had to do the action of getting it done, right? So I'm gonna tell you something right now, is that I have literally compiled all that information into an ebook where you can go download right now. And that is, again, you can't tackle and understand the game you're playing if you don't equip yourself with the knowledge, because knowledge is the only leverage against these guys. And at the end of the day, the link is in the description down below. I did this because I could tell you how to pay off the credit card debt. But for me to really sit here and be the example and the clear image of that person doing that, you will only find that out in the ebook. Link in the description. Check it out. Even me paying, right? Listen to this. Even me paying my credit cards, right? This is the reality that most people don't understand about debt, is that most people will go back into debt after paying it off. Only 4% of people stay debt-free, right? 18% fall back into debt within 6 months. 53% go back into debt within 1 year. And 79% go back into debt within 2 years. A lot of people don't have a debt problem. They just have the behavior problem. It's a habit. You pay it off, you feel the relief, and then now guess what? You go right back into spending because nothing changed. Same income, same habits, same mindset, same philosophies, and lastly, the same social pressure. Because the problem is, it's the psychology of your habits and behavior that creates it. But I love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. Hit the bell icon for future videos. With that being said, be good, do good. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.